14-year NHL vet, Dwayne Roloson. What's up, man? How we doing?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. So let's start with that. Take me back to the 06 run, because I think that there are some parallels here with them in this finals versus you guys in the Western Conference Finals. What was it like when you're down 0-2? What is the feeling in the room? How do you make sure that you don't start to let the worst thoughts creep in?
Well, the biggest thing is the belief in the room. We're a little bit different. We were, the big hit that Ralphie gave in the San Jose series that sort of was the turning point, hit Micah. Like it did change the momentum of that series, and then moving forward, like into the Carolina series where, we were down and just, I got hurt in game one, and then all of a sudden, like, what do we do? It's all about what is your mental makeup in the room and the belief. Like, the guys in the room, we've gone this far. You've been through a lot of adversity already. What kind of adversity do we need to go through to win this thing? And you're going to have ups and downs within games, within series, within, players hurt, players not hurt, players coming back, players playing with broken ankles and fingers and noses. So there's a lot of things that go on within the game, and also within the series. So that being said, the belief in the room, it's the next guy's up, and believing that the next guy up is going to give you a chance to win that game. And as cliche as it sounds, it's realistically what goes on within the game. Like, some guy could have just blocked a shot. Like, I remember Jared Stoll blocked 3 shots on one penalty kill. He took one off the ankle, could barely move, and then took another one off the other ankle and was still on the ice, and then got hit again. So, those things happen. It's funny, but those things happen, and guys put their bodies on the line all the time. And but it's just believing that the next guy is going to go out and do the same thing that you just did, and now that's what allowed us to get through some of the big adversities. But unfortunately, we couldn't win the most important game, which was Game 7.
Yeah. So you mentioned, though, like, next man up, and this will be a two-parter. What do you think that does to the room in Edmonton if they do find out that Barkov is going to be out in Game 3? Because you mentioned that the big hit was a turning point for you guys, McCulloch's injury in 06. And then 2 is, what did you think of Leon's hit to Barkov?
I got to be careful because obviously with the hit, it's probably going to get reviewed and everything else. But when you see what happened in the Boston Florida series, like it's they're gonna look at, the league's gonna look at this and go after it, and the only saving grace, it is Leon, right? So does the league, you can't really say the league plays favorites, but they don't want star players missing, right? So there's probably going to be a fine if there's anything, but I'm not the league, so I can't really say what the league's going to do here. Was it vicious? I think it was. Was it intense? Probably not, but I'm not in the room either. So, it's a tough one, right? And say he was defending us. You've been taught, when you turn pro, you're going to defend yourself. You're sticking hands up to defend yourself, and literally that's what he was doing. Unfortunately, it catches Barkov in a tough area, right? So, who knows? Florida could be playing games too, right? They could be playing games, and he could be playing next game. So you just don't know. Everything's a secret in playoff time. So you just you go with the flow, and with the Oilers, they got to prepare like he's in the lineup and not change anything they're doing, except for trying to get a couple more goals.
Mm-hmm. And then, what do you think it does for the Oilers? Because, again, as long as you don't lose Leon Draisaitl, and I would say that it actually reminds me a little bit of the Bennett punch on Marchand, where if you looked at it like live, you went, oh, that something looked a little wrong there. Why did he go down so hard? And then when you see the second replay from the third angle, you go, oh, he kind of got the elbow up and sort of gave him a little bit of a UFC move. Looked like he was a little unnatural. I'm with you. I don't think that they suspend him. And I hate to admit this, but I don't want him suspended because I want to see the great players in the game play. I think it's very close. It's interesting, though, if you are someone that was on the position that Bennett should have been suspended, and then how you feel about this one. Because, again, I think they are very, 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 very close. But if Barkov is out, you go into that game, it's got to do something for you, right? Like, he's the best defensive player in hockey. Is the worry maybe as a team that you get overconfident because they lose a guy? I know you just mentioned that you want to kind of stick to your game and prepare the same way, but it's got to have some impact. It's got to have some feeling of reprieve that a team that's only allowed 1 goal in 2 games is going to miss their most important defensive guy outside the goalie.
Yeah, for sure that it does play into, all right, we got some freedom now. We're going to have a little bit more time because, he's not there. But like I said earlier, the next man up, who's their next man up that's going to play that role? They're going to do the same thing. Like they're going to, what Florida's done is taken away all the Oilers' time and space in the ozone, right? And in Oilers, anytime they're getting a puck, they don't have that 1 second to take a look and see what's going on. It's like they're on them. They don't have time, so the puck's like constantly getting pushed, and any play that the Oilers are making right now is under duress. And does that change that Barkov's not on the ice? No, all 4 lines were doing it. Does it change that they don't have a guy that's going to play 23 minutes a night against McDavid? Mm-hmm. Yes, that changes. And, they're going to have to defend by committee. But at the same time, with the Oilers, you can't, if he's not in the lineup, you can't say, oh, this is going to be easy. This is us. We're going to win now. You can't. You got to keep pushing forward, and you got to find ways to change momentum. And that's playoff hockey is all about momentum. It's how can you change momentum? And one's getting a couple goals and keeping the pressure on. And it's almost like what they did in Game 1. Just keep moving forward, keep putting pressure on, not letting the Florida to get any momentum. And what they did in Game 1, if they were able to capitalize on a couple of those opportunities, it's a different series right now. And they got to believe that if they can replicate Game 1, it doesn't matter who's in the lineup on the other side; they're going to win games.
So again, you played 14 years in the NHL. You've been an All-Star. You made a Stanley Cup final. You also backed up Dominik Hasek. So you have seen the position played at the very highest level by, the guy who I think is the best to ever play the position. What do you make of the way Bobrovsky has played so far through these first 2 games, his .980 save?
Yeah, he's been remarkable. And, anytime you running into a hot goalie like this, it's the ugly ones that are going to go in. And, what the Oilers have done in the past is like, how many times does Hyman get hit off the side of the net and go in the net? Mm-hmm. We haven't seen any of those this series, right? And partly due to what the Panthers are doing. They're blocking everything. I don't know how many shots they blocked last night. Like anything that's going towards the net, there's a stick, there's a body, there's something in the way. And Bobrovsky's been able to clean that up. Whatever's lying around the net's been able to take whistles and that. So they're going to have to start, crowding the net, getting some ugly goals. And that's unfortunately this time of year, playoff hockey, it's the ugly goals that win. And the Oilers teams in the past, like, you talk to, Wayne, or you talk to Mess, you talk to Koff, or some of the other guys with Tikkanen and Glenn Anderson. They just said the ugly goals. When they came to talk to us, it's always the ugly goals that win. And right now, there hasn't been any ugly goals by the Oilers. It's been rush. Like, everything's been the breakaways and all that stuff. Bobrovsky's been able to see and be able to manage those. So it's getting more people to the net, crowding the net, and trying to take his time and space away and his vision away. They seem to do that last night a little bit more, but they missed the net on their opportunities. Nuge puts one over the net. Hyman puts one over the net. Like Bouchard, I don't know how many times he missed the net last night that he was trying to go high. And, you gotta hit the net. If you want to score, you gotta hit the net. And I know he's been playing great, but at the same time, you got to force him to make saves too, and try to get pucks and people to the net.
Yeah, I was going to say too, what's it like being the other guy when you're watching your opponent play at that level? But you were that guy in the Oilers run. Like, you had the .930 save in the series against the Red Wings. You were a .935 save in the conference finals. Like, yeah, you were unbelievably hot during that run. And what is it like when you're in that zone, when you start to hit, like you and Bobrovsky, at this point of his stage of his career, like you guys similar in age, both very high pedigree goaltenders. What is it like when you're in the biggest stage and you're starting to just like put it all together and you're feeling your very, very best?
Yeah, it's sort of surreal, to be honest with you. But as a goalie, it's weird. You put all this pressure. You always get all this pressure on your fans, people, your teammates. But realistically, as a when you're in it, you don't realize what's going on. You're just sort of focusing on the next shot. And it's crazy to say, and that's how we teach goalies today is you don't worry about what you've already done. You're worried about what's going to happen next, and you almost got to play like you have amnesia. Like you got to forget everything that's happened, and it's weird when you're in that mindset and frame of mind. It's like pucks are coming at you, but they're the size of beach balls, and everything's going your way. Even the ones that you don't save, they hit the post. How many posts do the Oilers hit? Everything's bouncing your way, and there's reasons for it, and but no one knows what the reasons are. So, for me, he's doing what he needs to do to stop pucks. And at the other end with Skinner, like he's doing a great job. He's giving his guys a chance to win. And unfortunately, last night, the couple breaks that, Bobrovsky got out the one end, Stuart didn't get at his end. And does that change? Yeah, it's simple. One post here, one little shot that he didn't see that goes off his knob of his stick and goes wide, sort of what Bobrovsky did in the game one. Couple knobs hit and went wide. Those things happen, and those things are actually turning points that guys on your team see, and they get momentum from it. And so like anything can change, anything can happen here. They're down 0-2, but at the same time, the Oilers can come back, and just one little something is going to trigger something, and it's a chain reaction here. So if they can create some type of momentum, to get going and get the Panthers on their heels a little bit, this could be a totally different series.
Listen, it wasn't all luck when you were in net. It wasn't all posts. Like I said, my most vivid memory of that run was your save in overtime on Chichu. Like on the 2-on-1 glove save, that goes in the net. you guys are down like 3-0. The series is over. So yeah, it's some posts and some knobs of sticks. It's not all the posts and knobs of sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you made some saves too. You're playing pretty good. You can say it. Your career's over. You can look back fondly on it and say, I was playing pretty red hot. It wasn't just like 18 posts a game. I was like, well, I'm so lucky.
I close my eyes and hope it hit me, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you close your eyes and you rip a puck out of the sky.
A lot of times it did hit me.
Yeah, Chichu, I think had 40-plus goals that year. He was like, it was exactly a stiff that was shooting the puck on the net too there. Okay, so you mentioned Skinner. How much pressure does that add, though? Because, again, you're already a Stanley Cup final. You're already playing for your Alberta team. Like, he's literally on the same roster as guys that he looked up to and has mentioned that. It doesn't seem as though he is, and that has been the book on him too, is that he handles pressure well, but it's been such an up and down playoffs for him. And he is one of the guys that is going to get the ire of this fan base, given that they're not going to turn on Connor McDavid. They're not going to turn on Leon Draisaitl. Like, it's not going to go that way. You lose this series and people are going to be pissed at you, the local kid essentially. And the other guy, you're watching him and he is, again, got a .980 save percentage and has let in one leaky goal and otherwise has been sterling. And I am curious what you think, that is going to do to him as this series wears on if Edmonton can't, find a way to break through with Bobrovsky and start to make him look human.
Yeah, that's a tough thing. I understand that, he's going to be right. That you're not going to get on Draisaitl. You're not going to get on Nurse. You're not going to get on McDavid. But realistically, I've done a bunch of local media out in Edmonton. Everyone was pointing fingers at Stuart and against the Vancouver Canucks. But realistically, I said, what do you want Stuart to do here? You got McDavid leaving as guy who's in the slot. The most dangerous guy on the ice. McDavid left to go to the least dangerous guy on the ice who's already covered. And next thing you know, the puck's in the net. But you're blaming Skinner. Well, McDavid just left his guy. Mm-hmm. Nurse is running out of position to take a guy that's already covered. And the puck's in the net. But everyone's pointing the finger at Skinner. And that's, us as goalies, there's not too many jobs in the world that you make a mistake or your teammates make a mistake. A red light goes on, the Jumbotron is replaying the goal, and you get 20,000 people yelling and screaming. That adds all this extra pressure to you anyways. But now all of a sudden it's the microscope is everyone's looking at Skinner. Well, there's 5 other guys on the ice. There's a lot of mistakes that happen before the puck goes in the net. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Are there times when a goalie makes a mistake and we miss a play or something goes in that probably shouldn't have went in? Yeah, we're human. We're going to make mistakes. But that Vancouver series, a lot of the mistakes weren't on Stuart, right? So, I was able to talk to Stuart a little bit and text him every once in a while and, just tell him to stay positive here and just keep doing what he's doing. He's doing his job. To me, and that's what I tell him. I said, you're doing your job. You're giving them a chance to win. And realistically, as a goalie, that's all you can do. Mm-hmm. If you can stop a puck that's supposed to go in the net once out of 10 times, perfect. If you can stop all the ones that aren't supposed to go in, that's it. That's your job. And to simplify it, it is simplified there when I'm talking about it, but realistically, that's what you got to do. The ones you're supposed to save. And if you can steal one every once in a while, then perfect. Going back to the overtime save, I stole one there, mm-hmm. right? And, that should have been in the net. And like you said, Chichu scored 40 or 50 goals that year, and mm-hmm. I was able to make a save that I wasn't supposed to. And, that gave us momentum. And those are the things that I'm talking about. Momentum changes in a series, in a game. Just making that one save. And he did that in Game 6 against Dallas. He made some saves that he wasn't supposed to make, and it just gave his team momentum. And last night, if that one that's the game winner that maybe goes off his shoulder instead of going into the net, or goes off the D-man who's screening him's butt and goes wide, it could be a different game. It could be a different series. Like those little things add up to a lot. And right now, the focus is on Skinner, but realistically, he's done a great job of pushing that aside and not making the pressure on him. And he's been able to focus on giving his team a chance to win. And that's what I try to tell him. It's like, have fun with this. This is like who knows when you're going to get back here. And, in my career, I was able to get there twice, once as a backup behind Hasek. You just never know when you're going to get there, and enjoy the moment and try to have fun with this, but at the same time, giving your guys a chance to win. And if you can simplify it to that point, that stress isn't there. It becomes fun. It's a game. And, you can see it in his personality too. Like he's joking, he's smiling a lot of times. And that's what you want to see for me with him. Bobrovsky's a little bit different. He was more like I was, like focus. And, after the game, then you can relax. So like with Stuart, he needs to be relaxed and he needs to have a smile on his face, and he seems to be doing that. So does he become the bad guy if something bad happens? Probably. And is that going to be hard for him to take? With his mindset and his personality, I don't think so. But, subconsciously, those things always hurt, right? And just being mentally tough after that. And hopefully it doesn't come to that. And hopefully the fan base doesn't get on him. But realistically, he doesn't score goals. It's the other guys that score the goals, and they've only scored one so far this series.
It's funny, though, you saying have fun with it. It's like, I can't, did you have fun with it when you were, on that cup run? Were you having fun?
Yeah, we're having lots of fun. And, we are lucky, too. We had Joey Moss around a lot, right? He traveled with us to Carolina. Joey kept things fun for us. He made light of everybody and, gave everybody grief all the time. And, so he kept it fun for us. And, we were pretty close. We were a really close team. I shouldn't say pretty close. We were a really close team. And, everyone was, even Prongs was brunt of a lot of the jokes. And Mr. Serious as he is, he was a brunt of a lot of jokes. And that's the game within the game, within your team, how people keep each other relaxed and light is a key to having fun. And, it's what the normal fan doesn't see, what goes on inside the locker room. And, Joey was able to do that with us. We had a lot of guys do that within our team. And, it's when you're relaxed and you're playing your best. And as soon as you start putting a lot of pressure on yourself, that's when, you're gripping your stick a little hard, as people say, and you're missing empty nets and things like that happen. And, the more relaxed you are, the better you're going to play. And that's why you try to keep it fun. I know it's hard to say. It's hard for somebody to realize that you're under the most stress that you possibly could be. You're fighting for a trophy that's one of the hardest ones to win in pro sports, but you want to have fun and relax.
Sure.
It's an oxymoron, but realistically, you have to relax. So you got to, do whatever it takes. And, you've dreamt about it all growing up as a kid. Like you're always on the, for me, it was road hockey. Some of the towns of Canada have banned it, but, road hockey, you get raising your hands up after you score a game 7 overtime winner type of thing. So you got to go back to being a kid and have fun with it. That's a key to have success.